You're welcome back. This is the Pulse here on Joy News. Now let's deal with some stories before I take you back to the Appointment Committee in Parliament, where the committee is still yet to vet two more nominees for deputy ministerial positions: the Deputy Minister for Communication and Innovation and the Deputy Minister for Health. But before we do that, the Minister for Finance, Dr. KCL Atufosem, has disclosed that a nationwide payroll audit has uncovered significant irregularities in Ghana's public sector salary administration, including over 14,000 unverifiable workers on the payroll. Now, President of the 2025 Media Budget Review in Parliament yesterday, Dr. Forson said the Ghana Audit Service conducted by the Ministry of Finance has completed 91% of the comprehensive payroll audits across all 16 regions. It further reviewed some 53,000 individuals categorized as retired, reassigned, and terminated on leave without pay, or even deceased are still receiving salaries under the government payroll.
This is pending. Already, this year, we have exceeded our wage budget by 1.34 billion Ghana cedis.
And you say it's because of the last-minute
recruitment. The previous administration recruited a lot of people in the last quarter of 2024 into the payroll. And as a result, some of them, in some cases, we were told that they were recruiting 1,000. But actually, the number of people that went to the payroll is 2 times that amount. And they've all gone to the payroll.
But you've also recruited.
You can't. No, we have not done any major recruitment since we came to office. We have not. We haven't. You need to assess the situation first.
I had the defense minister at the press conference.
That he intends to recruit. Has not done that.
You have the money?
So I'm saying that I want to do the payroll audit. And after the payroll audit, I've announced some numbers. I'm waiting for the Auditor General to complete the payroll audit. I believe we can make some savings before I can give them the go-ahead to recruit.
Well, the Finance Minister said the government expects to recover at least 150 million cedis in unearned salaries between 2023 and 2024 financial year alone. And to curb this, he's announced certain measures the government is implementing. Let me bring in Angel Kabono. He is the president of NAGRAT. I mean, this matter doesn't want to go away simply, if I want to put it that way. Mr. Kabono, good to have you here on the Pulse. Good afternoon. So I wonder when we will have a handle on this issue of ghost names on our payroll, because it looks like every man will have to deal with this matter, even as different state organizations have undertaken audit after audit, and yet the problem still persists. What is your understanding of this particular issue? And if you can kindly unmute for me, sir. We don't seem to be hearing you, sir. If you can unmute for me so we can hear you here. Angel Kabono is president of NAGRAT, and we are trying to understand what really is the issue regarding payroll audits and how best we can have some finality brought to this particular matter. We'll see if we can get in. So, Mr. Kabono, yes, I asked you, what is the best way forward, and what do you make of this recurring matter?
Well, when was the last time you heard that some ghosts have been arrested and have been arraigned before court? Because this is a recurrent exercise that government continues to do. Government pays so much money to audit service, spends so much money for audit service to do an audit. At the end of the day, we don't hear anything from government. We don't identify the culprits. And yet, whenever government realizes that its payroll is over-bloated, then they conduct this exercise. The question is, government should look within itself. Organized labor a few years ago demanded of government that there is a need for us to segregate and surgically look at the payroll. That is when you realize where the real amount of money is going. They shouldn't look at us in the public and civil service. The problem is not coming from us. If your government is decided to take on the payment of salaries and emolument to traditional leaders, do you come and blame public and civil service? Where areas that usually did not have queen mothers, because of this payment and the fact that they are paying some queen mothers, also were able to invent queen mothers in their traditional jurisdiction. Should it be government's business to be paying traditional leaders salaries and emoluments? Number two, when government is decided, in spite of the fact that you have brought in a pension scheme, which is the 3-tier pension scheme,
right,
that everybody is supposed to make contributions, and based on your contributions, you get onto your retirement package. And then you segregate a section of workers and put them to pay them salaries on retirement. So in spite of the fact that those people are not working, they are receiving monthly salaries as if they were working. You want to blame public service for that? When we have a situation where from 1992 to date, programs, initiatives, presidential programs and initiatives, some of which do not see the lifespan of the tenure of governments in power, end up siphoning huge sums of money for those projects. You want to blame public servants and civil servants for the bloated payroll? The fault is within the bosom of government itself. The fault is within the bosom of government. So please, and then when we surgically look at the payroll, you will realize that there are people whose allowances is double the salary that they take. Entertainment allowance, warm clothing allowance, traveling allowances. When you bring all these allowances together, they become more. They become more than the salaries that those people take monthly. And is that right?
So you think that the public sector payroll is being wrongly targeted?
Absolutely and wrongly targeted. That is why organized labor some time ago called on government that, look, when you talk about bloated payroll, let us all sit around the table and segregate and surgically study the payroll. And you will begin to see where and what amount of money goes. That's when you realize that monies are going to areas that they are not supposed to be going.
The matter, I mean, and I just want to put it to you, how does it make you feel as leader of an organization at NAGRAT, and consistently you are being asked to validate your members, for example? And this is not the first time this matter is coming up. I know that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has undertaken its own audits of the public payroll, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. In fact, the last chief executive of that particular, Ben Arthur, did say and said they had saved the nation over 10 million Ghana cedis. And now we are being told that the audit service also undertaking a similar one. The finance minister is projecting to save over 150 million Ghana cedis. So I wonder whether we are getting it right or we are doing things to even complicate the matter even more after all these years.
That's exactly what we did. Don't look at the right places. And number two, you see the audit that was carried by the audit service. You will realize that a lot of people will be taken off payroll, only to realize that they're wrongly taken off payroll. They will agitate and they have to come back on the payroll. You see, the audit that was done by a special prosecutor in the northern region, for example, huge number of active workers, especially teachers, were taken off the payroll, only to realize that those people were in active service. So they had to revert and bring them back to the payroll. And the month that they were not paid, they had to be paid. And that is exactly what is going to happen right now, where people who are actually working. The only problem maybe on the day that the audit service people came, they did not see those workers at post.
Right.
Instead of sitting with the management for management to clarify for you why those workers were not at post on that day, they just tick those people and indicate that those people do not exist. This is not how we do payroll audit. We don't do payroll audit by going to an institution for a day or two, and the fact that you don't meet that worker at the place in that day or two, you deem that worker not to exist. You are playing to the gallery. We have to do more scientific work, go back to the institution, check for the management of the institution. They will tell you why this worker is not here at the moment and where the worker is gone, whether he or she is on official duties or not, and stop this rabble-rousing approach that is taking us nowhere.
The minister segregates this, and he says that, for example, 14,000 workers are unverified. And then he also describes some category of workers as separated staff, 53,311. And he says that the separated staff are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, leave without pay, or deceased. And I wonder how difficult is it to get this category of people off the public payroll if they are one deceased, if they have retired, or they are on leave without salary?
Well, on government payroll, which is administered by Controller and Accountant General's Department, the moment you retire, your name goes off the payroll.
And yet, 53,000 people
on the 15th. Come again?
And so we have over 53,000 people who may have retired and still earning salary every month, according to the government.
How can that be possible? Unless you doubt their date of birth. Unless you doubt their date of birth. Because controller automatically, you see, in the past, in a few years, controller 3 months prior to your retirement will indicate on your pay slip informing you that you are about to retire 3 months prior to your retirement. Now they don't do it anymore, and they should tell us why they are not doing it anymore. Right. So for me, look, these are scratching the surface of the payroll burden and the payroll problem. The payroll is overbloated because there are certain politically infused activities that controller all over the years is being directed by political bigwigs to pay. Ivan, am I talking to Ivan?
Yes, Elton. Elton here.
Elton, please, let me ask this question. Is it prudent and wise for central government to take over the burden of paying salaries and emoluments to various traditional chiefs and queen mothers?
It may sound,
is it prudent?
It may sound unreasonable.
It is unreasonable because my emotional attachment to my traditional area should make me contribute to the upkeep and sustenance of my traditional leaders. Not central government. But because of populism and demagoguery, a certain president in this country decided to do that. And now it is very difficult to cancel. Is it also wise that there is a policy that segregate a section of public workers who are on retirement to be taking salaries as they would have taken if they were in active service, and that salary is paid to them till they die while they are on retirement and are not contributing to productivity? Which country does that?
It is.
That is in Ghana.
In our case, it is part of their package, and perhaps the rank that they attain. For example, the EC boss, former Speaker of Parliament. I think that is what it is.
Why are they not on the pension scheme? Why are they not on the pension scheme, the 3-tier pension scheme? First tier, there's a contribution between the worker and government, that is to SNIT. Second tier, there's contribution between government and workers, that is mandatory tier 2 pension scheme. And the third one is voluntary. So based on your income level, you contribute X amount of money, that takes care of you when you're on retirement. But government is burdening itself all over these years to isolate a section of its workers and pay them salaries as if they were working while they are on retirement. Why should that? Then why are you crying? Tell me which country in the world does this?
There's ongoing constitutional review. Maybe, perhaps, it may be one of the things that we should consider to review.
I don't think this should be a constitutional. This is a common sense issue. It's not a constitutional issue. Because there are senior members of other sectors who do not enjoy this. There are senior public servants, civil servants, who are not part of this package. Sometimes some of them are even more senior to the people who are enjoying it. So why do you have different rules for the same game at different places? Why should people's allowances, cumulative allowances, and PECs and benefits be more than their monthly salaries? How do you run a country like that?
Let me find out if government's cure for this challenge will work. For example, the minister is of the view that they would enforce the monthly payroll validation process and strictly apply sanctions to all who validate ghosts for payment of salaries. And I wonder whether this is the first time we are doing validation before payment.
Before payment of every public sector worker, validation is done. The advice comes from controller, and then the head of the unit institution validates the presence of workers. It is sent back to controller and salaries are paid. It happens every month. I say the problem is not in the public or civil service. The problem is some historical decisions that we have taken, political, historical decisions that we have taken, that is coming back to bite us. That is where the problem is.
We'll leave it here for now. Mr. Angie Carbono is president of NAGRATS, and you heard his take on this issue by government to clean the public payroll of ghost names and those who are not eligible to receive salary but take it every month. Government says 14,000, according to the finance minister. At the media review, 14,000 workers have been identified and verified to be on a payroll illegally. And they've also identified some over 50,000 separate staff. And the separate staff, they describe them as those on retirement, reassigned, terminated, leave without pay, or deceased, and yet remain on a government payroll. Government is projecting to recover 150.4 million of unearned salaries from the separated staff over the period 2023 and 2024. And so that's the reason why we brought in Angie Carbono to speak to this matter. Still on education, and the Member of Parliament for Bawku South, Dr. Kingsley Kwame, has called for a bold overhaul of the education system to meet modern-day demands. Speaking at the Eastern Regional Delegates Conference of the Association of Teachers, he said outdated teaching methods are failing today's learners, insisting Ghana cannot shape the future with tools from the past. There's more in this report.
Held under the theme, Educating an African Fit for the 21st Century, the role of policymakers and unions at the 2025 Regional Delegate Conference brought together members of the Eastern Regional Ghana National Association of Teachers in Chebi. Speaking at the event, a Bawku South MP, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, called for a revolution in the education sector to meet 21st century demands.
I propose a 21st Century Education Pact, a pact not written in legalized and shelved in filing cabinet, but one that lives in every heart that believes in the African child. This pact must unite policymakers, teacher unions, civil society, private industry, and the communities themselves. Policymakers must ensure access and reform. Unions must advocate and co-design. Civil society must hold us accountable. Industry must support innovation, and communities must protect and prioritize education.
Dr. Ajiman further emphasized that the renewed focus on technical and vocational education and training (TVET) is a commendable and strategic shift in Ghana's educational priorities.
The renewed emphasis on TVET is a commendable pivot. For far too long, we have treated technical and vocational education as a consolation prize for those who did not make the grades. That mindset is gradually shifting, and it must.
Meanwhile, now to National President Reverend Isaac Owusu highlighted the union's visible strides in improving member welfare over the years. He, however, expressed concern over the growing tension in NAT elections and urged candidates to uphold decorum.
Please, we are turning our election into moneycracy, and it is very dangerous for us. Very, very, very dangerous. If you are asking me to give you 1,000 each, 1,000 each, I don't do galamsey. Excuse my language. I don't do that galamsey. So where will I get the money and be given to all of you? So I want to plead that all the aspirants are availing themselves. Power belongs to you. Those that you feel that can do the work, give them the power to serve you. NAT is the only teacher union in Ghana that has permanent secretariat in all the districts. No union in Ghana that you go either health service, agri, or whatever union, that you locate an office that belongs to the union. Apart from that, you won't get any union like that. And we are doing this for the betterment to bring the union's activity to the doorstep of our members.
For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Chibi.
And now let me take you to the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, because information reaching Joy News indicates that a popular Mamprusi activist in Bawku has reportedly been shot and killed by unknown gunmen at Offinso in the Ashanti region. Whilst police are yet to confirm this particular incident, reports have also emerged of another young man allegedly gunned down in the Ashanti constituency in Kumasi, also in Ashanti. Now let me take you live to both locations. First to Offinso, where my colleague Ohimen Teria is following this developing story. So Ohimen, what do we know? If you can unmute for me, Ohimen.
I hope I'm clear now.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, the incident happened at Dinasi in the Offinso North district of the Ashanti region, some few kilometers from the main capital, Kumasi. What we do know is that the disease, identified only as Abiola, according to police sources, is a known social media activist who in recent times have taken to social media to talk about the Bawku tribal conflict. So he and other passengers were on board a 9-seater bus from Kumasi, Kejetia. There's a popular lorry terminal called the Adishie Market Lorry Terminal. And upon reaching the Dinasi spot just in front of a local church of Pentecost, where the driver slowed down just because there was a speed hump on that stretch. Then two assailants wielding AK-47 assault rifles, one on each side of the road, opened fire on the bus. According to the police, the driver, sensing danger, just lowered his head and he escaped the attack. But two people on board this particular bus, the deceased, identified as Abiola, and then a military officer who was also seated at the front side of the bus was hit by bullets, and some other persons were also injured in the process, though their injuries were not so bad or not serious as compared to that of Abiola and the military officer. The driver managed to drove the vehicle to the Offinso St. Patrick Catholic Hospital, where the deceased was pronounced dead on arrival. As at the time of getting this confirmation from the police, the military officer has undergone surgery at the St. Patrick Catholic Hospital, and the other passengers who also got injured had also been treated at the same facility. The Ashanti North Regional Police Commander, DCOP Jude Kobina, did confirm that the incident, the shooting incident, is linked to the Bawku tribal conflict, and that his men had been on the ground talking about the crime scene management team. They have been to the ground where they picked 14 spent AK-47 shells and now investigating the matter. And just as we were brooding over this shooting incident, yet another report of another man has been shot at the Ashanti area, within the same area where Deputy Kusasi chief was also gunned down a few days ago in the region.
All right. So the first, and we'll go to Ashanti shortly because Clinton Yabua is standing by for joining us. But I mean, the first incident that took place around Offinso. So this is the case that the deceased was traveling, and you know, the incident happened whilst en route to wherever he was going.
Yes, the incident happened at Denase, a few kilometers from Adishia Market, where the bus set up. So it was just within the Greater Kumasi enclave. The bus has not even left the Greater Kumasi to go to the Offinso and North, for instance, and then enter the Chimai, Amasi. So it was within the Greater Kumasi area. Few, I would say, hours, a few minutes after leaving the Adishia Market lorry terminal. But what we are also learning is that the incident happened just close to the Dinase lorry terminal, where a lot of people had gathered. I'm talking about last night. And the incident, you know, brought people running helter-skelter to safety to save their own lives, just because they had seen the gunmen open fire and they shot sporadically into this bus. The bullet-riddled bus has been now taken over by the police as part of the investigations, whilst the body of the deceased has been deposited at the Offinso St. Patrick Catholic Hospital for autopsy and police investigations. So the incident happened within the township, not at the outskirts, but within the township of Dinase, where people had to run for their own lives.
And you have been in touch with the police. How are they treating this? Is the police conclusive that this may be a targeted killing or a robbery?
According to the Ashanti North Regional Police Commander, DCOP Prince Jules Kobina, this is a targeted attack linked to the Bawku tribal conflict. He did say that police suspect this is linked to the Bawku incident because they've monitored the social media interactions and involvement of this gentleman on the conflict on social media. And he seemed to be talking about the conflict in recent times. So police suspect that indeed it was a targeted attack and not robbery, because nothing or no belongings of the victims were taken by the assailants. You could see that the assailants came purposely to shoot at the victims on board this 9-seater bus heading towards Tamale. So nobody lost anything, and police suspect that this was a targeted attack.
And the police is on a manhunt for the assailants?
Yes, to him, police zoom into investigations. Immediately, the district corps reached out to the police, and Boaman Police Command is in charge of these investigations under the Offinso Police Division. So police have launched investigations, and they are looking out for the 2 AK-47 wielding men who, at that time, according to residents, had positioned themselves just by the roadside, apparently to trail the victims on board this particular bus. So police are on manhunt for the 2 assailants who opened fire on the Kumasi-Tamale bound bus.
All right, hold it for me. Let me cross over to Asawase, a suburb of Kumasi, also in the Ashanti region, where we also learned of some disturbing issue there. Clinton Yabua is my colleague on the ground. So Clinton, what can you tell us?
Elton, currently I'm I'm at Sabu Zongo at the Asawase constituency, where we believe that some assailants have gunned down 2 gentlemen believed to be on a motorbike. Although the persons are unidentified, we are getting intel, or the speculations around is that their death or the shooting incident is connected to the Bawku unrest. It is worthy for us to note that this particular area or this particular constituency I'm standing, the community I'm standing, is exactly the place where less than a week ago, the Gusasi deputy chief was shot. You can see that the residents here are in disbelief of the incident, because what they tell me is that it's very disturbing, considering the fact that in less than a week, 2 shooting incidents have happened. So I would engage some of the onlookers who saw and get exactly their description of the incident. Shooting incidents in this year now. Chemuche, what exactly did you see? Dear now here.
No say na also omujina wana obedidi o obedidi obenkunu wara no. Ento odidi wie na obai obefre no motor mo fire no to from na omobo no na okod. No.
But omo bono to hono e dey na see
na oto na as police for ena eyimu for buy ena omo di eyi kata no so ena police for buy na ombeye na de no koy ko
ebi mu so chese na omo ti motorbike so na nkof
na omo ti motorbike so
omo meku
na omo ti motorbike so
hu bi manimu ni mo bi ana
dabi me hu omo se mask crowd. Helmet.
What he's saying is that the 2 assailants were in a max and they were also in a motorbike, and they targeted this person in question that they shot, who had only come to eat from a joint here at Asawase. Although the person that we are talking about, the person in question, is unidentified, we are picking intel also that it could be someone linked to the recent Bawku unrest. Hey, Mame, you yes, we understand that you were not there, but you were saying that the person you saw could be somewhat your brother, because
me who into me person me who ni picture na answer
bankofoche no mo si nipa no mo kire nipa ni mu no na o che say osel brae no kre.
No, I didn't see the face. Now I'm looking like I want to see his face. I want to see the face first. But you, me say I need.
Well, this woman earlier when we spoke was talking about the fact that the person she saw could be her brother, although she has not seen the face. She assumed that it could be the brother, and. So yeah, we would engage more of the residents. Currently, the situation here is very tensious. Residents are all coming out from their rooms to check what is going on. But it is also very worthy to note that within the past 1 week that these shooting incidents have happened, residents are decrying the lack of security as well, because they were expecting that as and when it happens, they were expecting the police to mount their stations here and increase their presence in the constituency. But as it stands now, they only come in, or the police only come in when there is an issue. I have my colleague here from Adum TV. He has also been following. And when you got the information, what exactly was described to you? What situation was described?
Right, yeah, I heard the information a few minutes ago, so I rushed to the situation. Initially, I was thinking that the situation happened where the one happened the last time, but it wasn't so. If you look at those who know Kumasi, actually the road leading to Otek FM and Shah Government Hospital, that is where that actual incident happened. And if you can see that at this area we have it.
All right, so we'll bring you more on this developing story from Asawase, and of course from the one my colleague Ohimin Teria is following up, that also resulted in the death of one person at Offinso. So Ohimin, anything more to add before I let you go?
Yes, according to the police in the Offinso District Divisional Police Command, the incident has created some sort of fear among the residents in this area. So what police is doing right now is to involve themselves in foot patrols and also monitor the situation in the area to see in the attempt to arrest the suspects, if they are suspects perhaps are lingering around, so they can arrest them and also give the resident some sort of assurance, some sort of security, so they can go about their normal duties. So as we speak, police presence is being maintained in Dinase and its environs to some kind of.
Right, so we leave Ohemen out for now, but the Ashanti Regional Security Council, they have a statement on developing issues in the region. We'll bring that statement up pretty shortly. The ministry, the regional minister who signed the statement has been talking about some measures that they are putting in place to ensure that there is calm and security within the metropolis. Let me see if I can go through the statement for you. The Coordinating Council expresses its deepest condolence to the family of the late Alhaji Abdul Malik Azangwe, the chief of Kusase, on his ultimately passing. In response to the recent security incident involving the fatal shooting of Alhaji Abdul Malik, which occurred at Asawase on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, the Regional Security Council convened an emergency meeting on Wednesday, that's yesterday, that's 2 days ago, 24th July 2025, to assess the situation and determine immediate action. Following the meeting, RECSEC resolved as follows: no motorbikes shall be permitted on the roads after 7 p.m. until further notice. So that's one measure they've taken. No motorbikes shall be permitted on the roads after 7 p.m. until further notice. The use of unlicensed motorbikes or motorbikes without light is strictly prohibited. The ongoing inter-tribal football competition is to be suspended with immediate effect until further notice. No motorbike rider is permitted to wear a smock until further notice. So if you are riding a motorbike, you don't have to wear a smock. That's according to the Ashanti Regional Security Council, as it has become an avenue for suspects to conceal weapons. Additionally, there will be increased security presence in hotspot areas involving both the police and military to ensure peace and protect lives and property. The RECSEC assures the public of government's unwavering commitment to maintaining law and order and fostering a peaceful society. All necessary measures are being implemented to ensure that the perpetrators of the heinous crime are brought to justice. We urge the public to support the ongoing investigation. The doors of the Security Council remain open to receive credible information that can assist in identifying and apprehending those responsible. And this is signed by the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwako Hene, on behalf of the Security Council. So we are following up on this matter. Also, when we have latest development, we'll bring it to you. But this afternoon, you risk a 1-year jail term or paying a hefty fine if you misrepresent yourself with unearned academic titles, especially doctoral degrees. Now, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has vowed to crack down on offenders, as it was 2024 flag bearer of the All People's Congress, ACP, Hassan Ayariga, to desist from using the honorary doctorate degree in public. Speaking at the press conference in Accra, Director General of GTEC, Professor Abdullah Jinapo, said using existing education regulation, the Commission is now moving to prosecute individuals who fraudulently present themselves with unearned academic qualifications.
State that only a university's governing council may confer such a title, either through promotion or direct appointment with appropriate academic qualifications. Any individual claiming the title honorary professor is misleading the public, and such conduct, I must say, is fraudulent. So no institution, let me state for the avoidance of doubt, within our jurisdiction is allowed to issue honorary professor. Professorship is an earned rank. Misuse of academic titles such as doctor, professor, chartered constitutes an offense under the law. Penalties for violations include fines up to 250 penalty units imprisonment for up to a year or both. The canker has festered for a very long time. People have gotten away with it, and GTEC even trying to more or less raise the awareness of the general public that this is wrong in itself is problematic. Ayaraga was communicated to some 2 weeks back by phone. He said his PhD, his doctorate is in PhD, and he has 2 other honorary doctorates. He said he has 3. That was what he said. 2 honorary and 1 what? Academic. They said, well, we are not interested in the honorary. Provide evidence of the academic. We didn't hear from him. We sent him a message. We didn't hear from him. Then we wrote to him officially. And in fact, the official letter that was written to him was not put up to the public domain. He responded officially to our letter by writing. And we have the writing there, and he signed Dr. Hassan Ayaraga. So we ask that if you are Dr. Hassan Ayaraga, provide us with evidence of the doctorate.
All right, so that's Professor Jinapor with GTEC. For more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com, when appointment committees where we'll take you back to Parliament for the vetting of the 2 remaining Deputy Minister nominees for Communication and Health. My name is Elton Brobe. Have a good weekend and take care.